Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Today we're making kind of a fusion dish. We're making tonkatsu, which is basically a breaded and fried pork cutlet, Japanese. But in Japan they normally serve it with just cabbage, and we're serving it with our sauerkraut. I don't know if you remember, but it wasn't probably last episode, but a couple of episodes back, I made sauerkraut. I'll link to that episode here so that you can see how to make it. And I think the sauerkraut fits really well with the tonkatsu because it has a nice kind of sour, fresh taste to it, and it goes wonderful. But before we have a look at the ingredients we need for today, please do me the favor, click the subscribe button and check the bell icon to support the channel. Now let's have a look. Again, on the board, not too many ingredients. I mean, yes, the sauerkraut, but that's basically 2 ingredients. It's cabbage and salt. We have our pork cutlet with the bone. We'll clean that up nicely afterwards. For the breading, we have some flour, some egg, and some panko breadcrumbs. They're a bit bigger than your kind of standard breadcrumbs, but still gives a really nice crunch. And we have salt. And not to forget, this has to be eaten with Tonkatsu sauce. There's a famous, you don't have to make this yourself, there's a famous Japanese brand called Bulldog, and that's Bulldog. But let's start with prepping the cutlet. So we're ready to dig into this one. But before you do that, I have a big pan with a lot of oil in it for deep fat frying, and I'm slowly heating that up so that it's ready when we need it. Now let's get on with this. Now you see the bone running through here. You could do a fast one and just cut away the bone, but I think it looks quite nice to serve it with the bone. So we're going to release the meat from the bone. And first we'll take off this like tissue here. And then we will release the bone. You need a sharp knife and just kind of follow the bone. Always put pressure towards the bone with the knife to not get rid of too much meat. So you can already see we've released the bone. You need to get a little bit further. And now the idea is that the bone kind of sticks out like that, but the cutlet is nice. Let's see if there's any kind of tissue left that we want to cut away. Maybe we do a little bit of this here. Just clean it up as best as you can. Now if you don't want to bother with this, just cut the bone out. We have freed up our cutlet. Now we need to flatten it. So get either kind of a heavy bottom saucepan or something else that's heavy. I think I'll use the iron I have for the smash burgers. So we'll get that out and then we'll flatten it a bit. We don't want it too thin. Yeah, I would say about 1 centimeter is a good. And you want to get it evenly thick, because otherwise you'll have parts of it that's overcooked and parts undercooked. I'm happy with that. Now the last thing we'll do, and I forgot to show you that, we'll clean up the bone. And the easiest way to do that is just to get a small knife and just scrape it. Again, this is nothing that you have to do, but I like to do it. So, we have our nice pork cutlet and we're ready to bread it. Now we have our flour, we have our egg. I salted the cutlet on the side that's down, and we'll salt this side as well. There's different schools to when you should salt, or if you should salt the egg, salt the flour, salt the breadcrumbs. I like to salt the meat. And with the eggs, we'll just beat it a little bit. You can beat it straight on the plate. Like that. Now we'll flour it first. The flour is there to make the egg stick, and the egg is there to make the breadcrumb stick. Make sure you have flour everywhere. Not in excess, but just make sure that it goes everywhere. And now we move on to the egg. At the same time, I'll exchange this because we don't have a lot of space here. Now in the egg, we'll just make sure that the egg goes everywhere. Same principle as with the flour. You don't want too many kind of air bubbles on it. Make sure that you also cover the edges. And now for the last bath, well, it's a dry bath, into the panko crumbs. And here it's okay to press a bit. Make sure also here that you get the panko flour everywhere, that everything is nicely covered. Also on the sides and in the crevices. And that's pretty much it. We're ready to fry it up. So I'll move the camera position and we'll get frying. Our oil is hot enough. Remember always to put it in away from you so that you don't burn yourself. Move it around a bit. And this will probably take around 2 minutes on each side, more or less. But you must check for color. Now for the temperature of the oil, I like to bring mine to around 180 degrees Celsius. Check the coloring. A little bit more. Let's do another check. Yeah, I think this is quite nice. Move it again. Careful when you do this so that you don't spill the really scalding oil. And we're good to go. Now we're going to let this drip off and rest for another 5 to 6 minutes, something like that. I just wanted you to see how I rested. I put some kitchen paper and put the cutlet on a griddle. Nice and crunchy. We'll let it rest for another 2 minutes and then we're ready to serve it up. We have our tonkatsu, we have our tonkatsu sauce, and we have our sauerkraut. But before we serve this up now, if you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you enjoyed about this episode. Do me the huge favor, support me and the channel by clicking the like button, the thumbs up button below. That really helps me to reach a wider audience. So thank you for that. Now, let's start with the sauerkraut. As much or as little as you want. I think for this portion about 3 spoons will be enough. To our cutlet. Now I'm going to cut it up. I'll show you the beautiful insides. Look at that. What I really enjoy with this kind of meat, especially from the pork, is it has quite a lot of nice fat in it. And that melts really nicely when you make this. Now all that's left is the tonkatsu sauce. And there's nothing. I like quite a lot and put some extra on the side. Now let's dig in. Can't wait. Nice and crunchy. Get some sauerkraut in there as well. This fattiness from the pork. For those of you who love pork belly, you know what I'm talking about. It's fantastic. And as you can see, the bone serves no purpose except for looking nice, I think. Really nice and crunchy. And it goes so well with the sauerkraut. The fattiness of a piece of pork like this needs something sour to lift it up, something fresh. That's why if you taste the Tonkatsu sauce, just like that, it's very sour. It's quite a lot of vinegar in it. Perfect. Really comfort food. But I'll finish this alone now. You don't have to watch me because it's probably boring. But thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a try yourself. And if you do, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And before I say goodbye, 2 more things. If you're not supporting the channel yet, please click the subscribe and check the bell icon to do so. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.